With the arrival of the new C3, there's a wind of change blowing through the motoring scene, says Citroen in its press release, and promises a versatile hatchback which sets a style of its own, standing out from the crowd with perky, colorful and appealing personality. New Citroen C3 offers a delightfully offbeat take on in-car living, says Citroen. Before we get a whiff of this wind of change, a few words about this particular test example. I'm sure many of you have seen press materials in which C3 has air bumps, sort of airbags for the doors which protect the car from parking bumps and bruises. As far as I'm concerned, it's a must-have because it adds character to the C3. Depending on the market and trim level, they may be a €200 option. In top spec they are standard, but they may be removed at no cost if the client so wishes. I sometimes read in the comments that as car reviewers we only get to drive top-spec cars which normal people never buy. Well, this mid-range feel model is about halfway between the base price and what I configured to my taste. But in this mid-range trim version we still get steel wheels and plastic hubcaps, and you have to pay for rear parking sensors, fog lights or automatic wipers. This car costs about €17,500, that's slightly less than a similarly spec'd Opel Corsa, Hyundai i20 or Suzuki Baleno. At 300 litres, the boot is bigger than that in a Corsa, smaller than in i20 and Baleno. Are there any shopping bag hooks? Yes, there is one. Someone told them to put at least one in, and they put one in, and it's completely useless. And I talked in length about this design philosophy in my Renault Espace review, which you can watch by clicking somewhere around here. The loading sill, by the way, is quite high, and seats don't fold flat. In the back, legroom and headroom is decent for a supermini, but instead of these jacket hooks I'd rather have proper handles. Perhaps Citroen doesn't think adults will travel back here. In the front it's quite interesting at first glance. The seats are wide and soft. I like the cloth finish on the dashboard. These old suitcase-like door handles are a nice touch as well. Whoever designed it should get the Legion of Honor, but the accountant should get the guillotine. The C3 cockpit is full of elements which came from the PSA parts bin. Some of the switchgear remembers the first generation C3 when PSA abandoned horn on stock. The trip computer button is traditionally on the wiper stock, but there is now a second button which does the same, and it's on the steering wheel. And the invisible cruise control stock, which you have to learn to operate by heart like assembling a gun with your eyes closed. Oh, the traditions of the French Resistance! Cup holders in this form first appeared probably in Peugeot 208, and 5 years later I still think they're useless because you can't put a half-liter bottle in them. Never mind a proper coffee mug. Door pockets are huge, and thanks to the contrasting color you can see dark items lying there, but you'll probably hear them first because this is hard plastic, just like many places across the cockpit. This could have been a very good interior. This is what a DS3 should look like inside, plus better materials. Now let's see how it drives. Under the bonnet of this C3 is a 3-cylinder 1.2 petrol engine producing 110 horsepower. I know in some markets this engine is reserved for the highest trim levels, but in Poland we also get it in mid-level trim. On a cold day like today, the engine sounds a bit like a diesel at first, but unlike a diesel, it does not pull from low revs, so forget about taking off quickly when you're rolling in second gear. Before you enter a roundabout, you have to shift down to first, otherwise it's going to be a test of nerves for you and the driver of the fast approaching car. Only in higher revs, especially in third gear, C3 really takes off, which is good when you need to overtake, and thanks to long gearing you'll be fine with a 5-speed shifter. Most of the time you're going to drive around town in third, maybe fourth gear. Meanwhile, in many cars, Eco Nanny suggests sixth gear even below 60 km/h.
If you're looking for a comfortable car, C3 has the most comfortable suspension in the segment, perhaps even in segments A, B, and C. Whatever the road, C3 glides over it. And it has super soft seats. The only problem is they don't have lumbar support adjustment. So after about 15 minutes, I feel I would rather have a pillow under my back. I had the same problem in C3 Cactus. I'll pay extra, just give me lumbar support adjustment. Otherwise, it's going to be a deal breaker for me and probably for many of you.
Steering is calibrated to match the soft suspension. It's old school. You have to give the wheel a good turn before the car starts changing direction. But it suits the C3. It doesn't pretend to be a sporty car. Visibility front and rear is okay. An optional parking camera is helpful. By the way, infotainment system is too low. I know many people do not like the tablet mounted on top of the dash, but it's for your own comfort and safety. In C4 Cactus the display was on top, and here it's in the middle again. Pointless. Good thing there's a shelf for a big smartphone. It will come in handy when you want to plug your iPhone to use CarPlay, because MirrorLink doesn't work with my Sony, as usual.
An interesting option, which unfortunately may be unavailable in some markets due to privacy regulations, is an integrated dashcam. It's a €300 option.
For this kind of money, you'd expect a serious bit of kit with a good performance, not just during the day but also during the night. However, as far as I can tell from online test footage, Citroen's Connected Cam offers bottom-range image quality at night. So what are we paying extra for? The camera has 16GB memory, 120 degrees view angle and 2 megapixel sensor. Although the file is recorded in HD resolution, you'll probably get better footage from a selfie camera on your phone. Like in many aftermarket dashcams, also Connected Cam automatically saves footage 30 seconds prior to an accident and 60 seconds after the impact. You can also manually save videos 20 to 60 seconds in length, half before you press the shutter button and half after. Connected Cam interface is a mobile app which syncs via Wi-Fi. Another option is to connect the camera to a laptop with a cable. Connected Cam app also lets you share some of the content via social media.
Unfortunately, instead of integrating the dashcam with the infotainment system or placing a couple of buttons somewhere on the dashboard, Citroen designers decided that it's best I look for a button which is on the camera, which is behind the rearview mirror. Yeah. I have to press it for a while, and only then it will start recording. If you can think of a reason why this is the right way to do it, let me know in the comment section below. With prices starting at around €12,000, the new Citroen C3 is among the cheaper cars in its segment. It definitely stands out from the crowd, but it could have been a much better car, perhaps even worth a higher price tag. And how do you like the new Citroen C3? What other super minis are on your buying list? Let me know in the comments below. Share, rate and subscribe. If you want to help me to make better reviews, please contribute to my Patreon or PayPal. Links below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.